As it's me, it's Queen Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Okay, so there's one question that I have been asked like 20 times, but I've never answered. And I've never answered it because I really don't have an answer. There's nothing you can really say. There's no explanation. Most of the questions that you guys ask me, there's a good reason or there's a good logical explanation for it, in the very least. But people keep asking me, how come an Aquarius can cheat on you, but get mad when you cheat on them? Now, I really, like I said, don't have an answer for that. I mean, what can you say? They're being a selfish ass? I mean, that's the only reason why you would do something like that and then think the other person has to be held to a different standard than you're held to. Okay? There is no reason for that. No Aquarius really has an answer for that other than I was being a selfish ass. But it is very common. Let me tell you something. I told you guys about the Scorpio. My mind always goes back to that because this was one of the funniest times of my life. So I told you guys I was seeing the Scorpio, and at the same time that I was seeing the Scorpio, I was seeing a woman who was a Sag. The Sag was in a relationship with this guy. So me and her was creeping, and I was supposed to be in a relationship, monogamous relationship with the Scorpio, which I wasn't. I was also entertaining people who were calling from the past, people who I was meeting in the present, okay? But when I caught the Scorpio cheating, which I think was the very first time, I immediately broke up with him. Immediately. Now, my friends were like, huh? What do you mean? And I'm like, I didn't explain it to them at the time because I didn't even know the thought process. Like I said, there is no logical answer, but I will give you guys the thought process. This is the thought process. Aquarius is like this. You know how a mother, a cat or a dog will give birth to, puppies or kittens? And I think this happens maybe with birds too. And my mom said, and I've heard others say, that sometimes they will reject their babies. And one time this happens in some cases is when humans start to pick the baby up too soon and the baby starts to smell like the human. So my mother was telling me, and other people have told me, apparently some animals reject their young if they get a strange smell on them. This reminds me of Aquarius. When Aquarius is with someone, if you get the stench of another person on you, Aquarius don't want to mess with you all the time. And this isn't all the time. Like I said, the young lady that I was messing with, the Sag, was in a relationship. But this is the difference between the two. Number one, the Sag was somebody I was just creeping with. She was just Miss Right Now. The Scorpio was supposed to be Mr. Right. We were supposed to be moving towards having a future. Me and that girl ain't had no future. We already knew we didn't have a future, So I didn't give a shit what she did. Her life was none of my business, really. I didn't even ask her about her life. Seriously. All we did was hang out and have sex. That's it. And it was more sex than hanging out. That was the whole point. So I didn't ask her about her life. I didn't care about her life. I didn't care what she was doing. As long as she didn't have any STDs, as long as, she was available when I called her, that's all I cared about. That was our relationship. But he and I were supposed to be moving towards something. So if you are creeping and stupid and lying and getting caught, we don't have nothing. Which we probably didn't have anything in the first place, but in my Aquarian mind, we could move to having something. And once he did what he did, that told me we can't move to having nothing. You gotta go. So it's not that it's logical, that it makes any sense, but that's how I felt about it. You got the stench of somebody else on you. You need to go be with them. You see? And Aquarius have a tendency to compartmentalize everything. We categorize everything. So one of the things we categorize are our lovers. My lovers were in the category of not serious about, potential serious about. You see? So if you were in the not serious about category, I gave you no connection, no emotional connection, no spiritual connection. We just had fun. It's a physical fun connection. If it's a possibility for, is there some potential there, then they are a little bit better. They move up the hierarchy a little bit. I'll give you a little something, something. And if I'm serious about them, then they get everything. The floodgates are wide open, So there is no explanation for that. That's just how we are, And if you're a dark or a gray Aquarius, you will behave in that manner. You will not see anything wrong with it because you feel like you can do whatever you want to do, even though you are being deceptive and treacherous. So when you have those types of Aquarius, or when I was in that emotional space, that mental space, I can do whatever I want. Now looking back on it, I'm like, oh, why did you do that? Looking back on it, I'm just like, oh my God. But it's too late now. These things have already occurred. These are 20 years old now, So it is what it is. But that's what I'm telling you when I always tell you guys to stay away from dating dark Aquariuses. And the gray ones, you got to keep your eye on too, because they'll do little things too. But the dark ones are just do it with no holds barred. Wild abandonment. They just do whatever they want. They lie. They do whatever they want. Whatever they want. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing whatever you want, because I do whatever I want every day. I get up and start doing whatever I want. But the problem is lying about it. If you're going to do whatever you want, do what you're going to do. But keep it real. You see, keep it 100. Keep it a bean. Tell the truth. I tell people, let's see, this is what we're not going to do. This is what we might do, and this is what we are going to do. I say it right up front. So if you're going to do whatever you want, you Billy Badass, be Billy Badass. Don't lie about it and shuck and jive and, go behind walls. If you bout it, be bout it. In the hood, you can't be tough and a wuss at the same time. You one or the other. Either you tough or you not. So if you tough Tony and you getting up and doing whatever you want every day, be honest about the fact that you doing whatever you want. And then nobody can accuse you of lying. They can't accuse you of treachery, deception, leading them on. They can't accuse you of anything if you came out your face with the truth. And that's what I came to as an adult. When I was playing these games, I was a child. When I came to as an adult was just keep it real. So that's when things changed. But for those of you who have been in this situation with an Aquarius who's cheated on you, and you're in a relationship and then you cheat and then they blow up or leave you, or it's a big hoodoo, that's what it's about. We don't like what's ours in our mind. We don't like what we consider to be ours touched or tainted by someone else. That's where it is. And I can't offer you a logical explanation other than just that, because all I'm giving you with this is a thought process, because it's really not logical. Aquarius is usually pretty logical with our thought processes, but this one isn't really very logical. It's basically has to do with how we compartmentalize, how we detach from things, and how we put things into small categories. So it has a lot to do with that. So if you're dealing with an Aquarius, this could be actually kind of helpful for those of the ones who have a similar thought process. This could be kind of helpful because it can help you to see how we categorize things. So if you're seeing an Aquarius, my first question to you, and I'm just going to keep it real, is, are you in the category that you are something that they're committed to, they're dedicated to? Are you just a possibility, a potential? Or are you somebody they just see as fun right now? Because the difference between those three is going to tell where you're going. If the Aquarius sees you as being someone, and remind you, these categories can change. That's why it's so confusing at times. Because an Aquarius can be serious about you one minute and not talking to you or demoted you the next minute. So basically you have to ask yourself, where am I with this Aquarius? Where do I want to be with this Aquarius? You might not want to be the person that the floodgates is open to. You might want to be right now. You might want to be that. I don't know. It's up to you. But if you want to be with an Aquarius in a committed relationship, you need to figure out which one of them categories Aquarius has you placed in. And like I said, it does change. Sometimes you get demoted or promoted. That does happen. Like the Sagittarius girl I told you about, when her and her boyfriend broke up, we started seeing each other again. And she went from being, fun time to potential. But our personalities didn't go well together. We weren't compatible. So we ended up not seeing each other anymore. But notice how she got promoted, not demoted. You see? So that happens a lot. And I'm going to talk more about Aquarius and familiarity later on. Because actually, even if you are somebody we're not thinking seriously about, it is very possible to get promoted. Because whatever it is that we're not taking you serious for, if that thing changes, such as you're in a relationship, then things can change. We'll talk more about this part in another video. But that's the bottom line. Aquarius do that because the ones that do it think they can do whatever they want. They're being selfish. They're lacking integrity. They're not keeping it real. And they gonna do what they want and not really care. They really don't care, And when you do something, they're going to get angry about it. And some of the times they'll stop seeing you, as in the case that I just described to you. Sometimes they'll be like, well, she doing her now, so I'm out. So it's not a fair thing. I'm never going to be able to say that it's fair. It's not a logical thing, but that is what it is. So if you're dealing with that type of a situation, the only thing I can say is I wouldn't put up with it. That's all I can say. I wouldn't put up with that at all. I would just keep it moving. So that's the best I can give you for that one, guys. It's just something that's very messed up that those types of Aquarius will do. So if you are that type of Aquarius and you're doing that type of thing, I challenge you to be honest. I challenge you to do what you do, but be honest with people up front. That's the most I can ask you for. I hope that helps. Okay, guys, it's time for me to get going. So I'm going to leave my PayPal if you want to leave me a love donation, because we are in the season of Aquarius. Happy birthday to all the Aquarius. Mine isn't until February 13th, so I got a long way to go. But happy birthday to the rest of you. So if anyone wants to leave me a donation, my PayPal will be here. If anybody would like to get a tarot or oracle card reading, I'll also leave my email. Feel free to email me for an appointment. If you want to ask a free general question, you can email that too. I will put it on the list, and when I get to it, I'll answer it for you. Likewise, I'm on Facebook and Instagram in case any of you want to connect there. I have been talking to some people here and there out there, so check me out if you want to. I'll leave my information underneath. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you know somebody that's going through this, share this video with them and tell them I said, don't put up with it. Peace.